Okay, we just finished the show, live show on Friday, and I came and checked the news again, and another chemical explosion at the Arkema plant in Crosby, Texas. So, I'll tell you why this infuriates me. Other than the fact that it is incredibly dangerous, 15 police officers were hospitalized before in the first set of explosions, and the smoke is now all over the area. The authorities in the earlier explosion made preposterous claims. First of all, they said it wasn't really an explosion. They said it was an explosion in the beginning. Then they fixed it to there was a couple of pops and then a fire. Yeah, that's called an explosion. And reporters on the scene said the flames were 10 feet, 10 yards up in the sky, okay? And now you can see the flames are everywhere in the second explosion. So why are they covering up for these explosions? Because it turns out the politicians in Texas are dirty and have been taking money from this chemical plant and the chemical industry and making sure that they are not regulated and don't have more safety precautions. So, and then the second absurd thing that they're saying now, and if you're in the area, be careful. They say, oh no, don't worry about the chemicals from the chemical plant that just exploded. It'll be fine. Just make sure you stay indoors and close the windows. I hope to God they have a better plan than that, man. That is not a good plan for the people in that area. So, do they care about you? They care about their donors, man. And this is how it costs people lives. And this is the effects of it. So, in this case, first of all, Arkema was, this is reporting in from today, from earlier today. Again, right before we went on air, it was our own reporting, TYT, Michael Tracy's reporting, that they had in 2006, they had a similar problem with chemicals being stored wrong, and it created another hazard at the time, and they were fined for it. But they were fined a little over $3,000. That's nothing. Their annual revenues are $8.9 billion. A $3,000 fine isn't going to make them move, isn't going to make them make the plant safer. You need it to be safe. If you live in the area, you don't want the local chemical plant exploding. But the thing that's on top of all this that infuriates me the most is in a story about the earlier explosion, the plant said, well, the state and federal authorities didn't, in our risk assessment, didn't make us do anything more. Didn't make you do anything more. In Sirota's reporting at the International Business Times, they explained that the risk management plan that Obama administration wanted to put in, the American Chemistry Council lobbied furiously against, and Arkema was part of that lobby. So that company lobbied to make sure there wouldn't be a risk management plan in place. Now they turn around and go, oh well, golly gee, man. We didn't know that the electricity could go out and our backup generator could go out. We didn't plan for flooding. That's what we told you to plan for. What do you think happens in emergencies? Just things happen out of the blue? No, there's a certain amount of risk and there are certain things that can happen. That's why you do regulations and you plan ahead so you don't harm the people in your area, right? And you don't blow up your own plant. But no, they spent all this money to make sure that they wouldn't have the over-regulation. Does it look like over-regulation now? Now the plant has blown up 2 different times, and the fire and the smoke is everywhere. Now, God knows whose kids that's affecting. So let me tell you the deeply corrupt people in Texas that make this happen and how much they took. This is from Sirota's reporting at the International Business Times, but these are public records. You can look it up anywhere. So, at the time, they got the Texas Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton to write a letter saying, oh, this would be over-regulation. We shouldn't do this. Now, what Paxton neglected to mention is that the chemical industry gave him donations to the tune of $106,000 when he was running for Attorney General. Think about what kind of an insane, corrupt system we have, that the Attorney General takes $100,000 and then when he's in office says, I won't regulate the people who gave me $100,000. In fact, I'll write a letter on their behalf like I'm their goddamn lobbyist. Okay, well, that letter, back in 2014, he did that run, and then he gave the letter a little bit after that. Well, one of the people that supported him was at the time, Alabama Attorney General Luther Strange, who is now the senator from Alabama. And guess what he did? He voted to deregulate, just like his donors wanted him to. Here's another guy that got money from the industry. It was at the time Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt. Guess what he is now? He's the head of the EPA. And the head of the EPA recommended that they not regulate these chemical plants, they not have proper risk management in place. I mean, calculating for a flood in Houston, what are the chances? Let's not bother with burdensome regulations. That backup generator going out, what are the chances that'll happen? Pretty damn high if you're in Houston, and the water has risen by half a foot in the last couple of decades, and flooding is enormously possible. But they didn't take those precautions. But those are not the only people who are corrupt. Texas lawmakers overall that blocked the regulation on this bill for chemical plant safety. That is what they blocked. And look at the results. The Texas delegation, for all the people who voted for that, got a combined $652,000 in legalized bribes, which we call donations. If you allow for private financing of elections, the private financiers will run our government. And in this case, it was the chemical lobby that bought the legislators of Texas, and that's why you've got a burning plant right now in Texas. Wolf-pack.com, get all the money out. Get the union money out, get the corporate money out, get the Koch brothers money out, get the Saudi money out, get the Soros money out, get all the money out so we can actually protect our citizens. So I'm not done yet. So then we go to the senators, corrupt senators from Texas. Cornyn took $408,000 from the chemical industry. Ted Cruz took $234,000 from the chemical industry. Overall, this is an amazing number. The chemical industry since 2008, you know how much money they've spent on lobbying? $100 million. They put in $100 million to buy our politicians, and they, in turn, they spend less money following safety precautions, and then we have exploding chemical factories in Texas. Finally, you want to know who's part of this group that did this lobbying? ExxonMobil, Dow Chemical, Koch Industries, and Saudi Basic Industries Corporation. The Saudis lobbied and gave money to our politicians through their lobbyist groups to make sure there was no safety regulations in Texas. And now we've got a chemical plant that's exploded 2 different times and is doing a raging fire and putting all sorts of toxic chemicals in the air in Texas. We have got to get our democracy back. All these corrupt politicians, who do you think corrupted them? The multinational corporations that are now running things in Washington, and they don't give a damn about you. All they care about is their profits. And fires are raging now, all because of this and this system. Get all the money out. Wolf-pack.com or any other organization, but fight back. If you're in Houston, you're in Texas, and you suffered this, you suffered the flooding, you suffered now these explosions. They did this to you, man. You think they care about the voters? They care about the donors. Get all the money out. All of it, all of it, all of it. And for God's sake, figure out how to put out the fire that you guys started.